Good afternoon, all. Last lecture we had discussed with PCR. As you know that the full form of PCR is polymerase chain reaction, and here the small fragment of the DNA is multiplicated, and so many copies we are forming. So PCR is divided into three phases, as you know that denaturation. Denaturation is under 90 to 95 degrees Celsius. Then annealing, second phase, 60 to 65 degrees Celsius, lowering the temperature. And third phase is known as extension phase. Here, in the extension phase, we use the Taq polymerase enzyme. Taq polymerase is nothing but the DNA polymerase, which is isolated from the Thermus aquaticus bacteria. So last lecture we had see that. Now today we will discuss the next topic and try to complete the chapter. Insertion of the recombinant DNA into the host cell or organism. Dear all students, I had already discussed with you that what is selectable marker. In E. coli bacteria and foreign DNA, you know that E. coli bacteria in that plasmid is there, and foreign DNA which consists the desirable character consisting gene. By restriction endonuclease enzyme, the same enzyme we form the sticky ends. So the sticky end consisting foreign DNA particle is now bind with the sticky end of the plasmid, joined with the help of DNA ligase enzyme, and now the plasmid is formed is known as genetically modified plasmid, or we say that recombinant plasmid. Now this recombinant plasmid can perform its function according to the joining of the new foreign DNA. Suppose example, if you attach the foreign DNA that consisting ampicillin resistance, now the plasmid is modified. So that plasmid is recombinant. So now the new forming plasmid, it resists against ampicillin drug. So ampicillin resistance is the selectable marker. If someone says that, sir, instead of ampicillin resistance, can I form the plasmid which consists the resistance against the tetracycline? Yes, but you have to join the tetracycline resistance gene. Okay, so the discussion is that, let's see. There are several methods of introducing the ligated DNA into recipient cell. Recipient cell, after making them competent, we had already discussed in previous in previous classes, that competent host, make a host competent to receive, take up the DNA present its surrounding. So if a recombinant DNA bearing the gene for resistance of an antibiotic, for example ampicillin drug, is transferred into E. coli cells, the host cells become transformed into ampicillin resistant cell. If we spread the transformed cells on agar plates containing ampicillin, only transformers will grow. What this indicates? Recombinant plasmid consisting bacteria. You kept it in the ampicillin containing cultural medium. Then what happened here? Transformers can survive, others cannot survive because transformers consist resistance against ampicillin consisting gene, whereas non-transformers cannot consist this. As a result, transformers can survive in ampicillin containing medium. Non-transformers will die. Untransformed recipient cells will die. Since due to ampicillin resistance gene, one is able to select the transformed cells in the presence of the ampicillin. So in this case, ampicillin resistance is the selectable marker. Obtaining the foreign gene product. When you insert the piece of the alien DNA into the cloning vector, it transfers it into bacterial, plant or animal cell. The alien DNA get multiplied. In almost all recombinant technologies, the ultimate aim is to produce the desirable protein. Yes, here our main aim is to form the protein. Hence, there is a need for recombinant DNA to be expressed. The foreign gene gets expressed under appropriate conditions. Expressions of the foreign gene in the host cell involve understanding many technical details. Yes, we should know the gene present in the DNA which consists the desirable protein. Same way, we have each and every technical knowledge for application of this biotechnology. After having cloned the gene of interest and having optimized the conditions to induce the expression of the target protein, one has to consider producing it on the large scale. At a laboratory level, we produce the protein at a very low level, at a low scale. If we have to produce at a very large scale, we have to do this process in large vessels. Can you think of any reason why there is a need for large scale production? Yes, to supply the protein to each and every required human being. See, one example I am asking to you. Just imagine that there are so many patients of diabetic mellitus. There are so many patients of diabetes mellitus in India. Think about that. One person can say take insulin regularly by injection. Yes. How many total diabetic patients are there? Suppose, for example, you think about that in Surendranagar city, the number of medical stores in that consisting the insulin drug. Think about in whole Surendranagar district. Think about whole Gujarat state and think about the whole India. How much amount of insulin? Yes, insulin is an hormone. Insulin is a hormone and this insulin is a proteinaceous hormone. Yes, peptide hormone is there. Insulin is hormone and hormones are mostly protein. So, to supply the insulin for all the diabetic patients, we have to produce it at a very large scale. Okay, so not only for few human beings, but we have to use it for whole human population. If any protein encoding gene is expressed in a heterologous host, is known as recombinant protein. If you are able to join the foreign DNA particle into the particular host, that host is now become recombinant and it forms the protein is known as recombinant protein. Cells harboring cloned genes of interest may be grown on a small scale in the laboratory. Yes. Nowadays, we are thinking about that after this much long time, you know that before 1 or 2 days, first case of corona in the world was noted. अच्छा, कोरोना ने 1 year થઈ ગયું છે, but up to right now we are unable to discover the vaccine against corona. તો રિસર્ચ લેવલે જે એક્સપેરિમેન્ટ્સ કરાય છે એ લેબોરેટરી લેવલે કરાય છે and it produce the product at a very small scale. પણ એ સ્મોલ સ્કેલ ઉપર જે પ્રોડક્ટ ફોર્મ થઈ છે એને યસ આ કોરોના વાયરસની સામેની જે વેક્સિન છે એનું હ્યુમન બીંગ ઉપર એક્સપેરિમેન્ટ કરાય છે. As you know that before so many years the vaccines were invented. The experiment of the successful vaccine was done on mice or monkey. Yes, mice is mammal and it consists all the physiological activity, all the body structure just similar to the human being. Whatever thing occurs in the mice after injecting the particular vaccine, we examine the particular changes, the same changes occur in human being. So, અત્યારે જે એક્સપેરિમેન્ટ્સની અંદર સક્સેસફુલ એક્સપેરિમેન્ટની અંદર જે ફર્ધર વેક્સિન કે કોઈ ડ્રગ કે એની ડિસ્કવરી કરવી છે, યસ, તમને અત્યારે એકચ્યુઅલી ખબર હોય તો કોરોનાની વેક્સિન તો હજી સુધી આઈડેન્ટિફાઈ થઈ જ નથી, ડિસ્કવર થઈ નથી, બરાબર. અને ઘણા બધા એવું પણ કહે છે કે જે આ રેમડેસિવિર ઇન્જેક્શન્સ છે એકચ્યુઅલી કોરોનાની કઈ ડ્રગ છે અગેન્સ્ટ કોરોના, વિચ આર ધ ડ્રગ્સ નાઉ these are available, we don't know. યસ, સિમ્પ્ટોમેટિક ટ્રીટમેન્ટ આપણે અત્યારે કરી રહ્યા છે અને મને ખ્યાલ છે ત્યાં સુધી બિફોર 1 or 1.5 month કોરોના કેસ જે આવ્યો હતો એને આફ્ટર 6 month recurrence of the corona in that same person, 3 to 6 monthsમાં કોરોના ફરીથી થાય છે એવું બી એક એસ્ટિમેટ છે. એટલે એકચ્યુઅલી લો સ્કેલ ઉપર, સ્મોલ સ્કેલ ઉપર ખાલી એક્સપેરિમેન્ટ માટે જ આપણે પ્રોડક્શન કરીએ છીએ, બટ યુઝેજ ઓફ ધેટ પ્રોડક્ટ ફોર each and every human being, it has to produce a very large scale. Culture may be used for extracting the desirable protein and then purifying it by using different separation techniques. The cells can also be multiplied in a continuous culture system where in the used medium it drained out from one side while fresh medium is added from the other. Yes, અહીંયા આપણે લાર્જ સ્કેલ ઉપર પ્રોડક્શન માટે એવી રીતે અરેન્જમેન્ટ કરવાનું છે that from one side we obtain the extract. After a particular process we obtain the product from the one side and from other side we add new fresh cultural medium. To maintain the cells in their physiologically most active log or exponential stage. You know that log phase or exponential phase means the stage at which within a very short period of time the cells can multiply at a very high rate. I mean to say, in other words, at a peak level. Multiplication capacity at a peak level, we say like that. This type of culturing method produce a large biomass leading to the high yield of desired protein. Small volume cultures cannot yield appreciable quantities of product. To produce the large quantity, we used bioreactors. Where the large volume, yes, at a laboratory level we produce the product at a very low quantity, but here in bioreactor we produce the product at a very large scale, 100 to 1000 liter. Okay, please remember this MCQ. Of culture can be processed was required. Thus, bioreactors can be taught of a vessel in which raw materials are biologically converted into specific product. Whatever we are doing on one plasmid, on one foreign DNA, with the help of one same type of restriction nuclease enzyme, use the one DNA ligase enzyme. Yes, everything that can be taken in one experiment of the biotechnology, this each and every material can be taken as a very large scale to produce specific product, individual enzymes, etc. using microbial plants, animals or human cells. Bioreactor provides the optimal conditions for achieving the desired product by providing optimum growth conditions like temperature, pH, substrate, salts, vitamins, oxygen, etc. Underline please. The most commonly used bioreactor is stirring type. Here, see in the diagram 11.7, first is simple stirred tank bioreactor, where one grinder was there at the center of it. At a particular interval, fan leads are there. Second is sparge stirred tank bioreactor, through which sterile air bubbles are sparged. Here, air bubbles are removed. So, these two are bioreactors which are used commonly. See, in the A diagram, simple stirred tank bioreactor, acid or base for pH control. We have to maintain continuously pH in the cultural medium. Through that portion, we have to add acid or base to maintain the optimum pH. Steam for sterilization. After formation of the particular product, we have to sterilize it. Sterilization method by the vaporizer, air steam. Okay, so that bioreactor can be used for further process also. Motor is there, foam breaker is there, break the foam. Actually, when foam is present, it covers major portion of the bioreactor, and it is the useful waste product. Flat blade impeller. With the help of this blade impeller, constantly stirring occurs in the bioreactor. So as a result, the plasmid, foreign DNA particular enzyme are continuously mixed together. Culture both sterile air. See the B diagram, sparge stirred tank bioreactor, gas entrainment, increased surface area for oxygen transfer, and bubbles or dramatically increase the oxygen transfer area. Continuously we can produce the provide the aeration in the bioreactor. As a result, continuous process occurs. Stirred tank reactor is usually cylindrical or with curved base to facilitate the mixing of reactor contents. The stirred facilitates even mixing the oxygen availability throughout the bioreactor. Alternatively, air can be bubbled through the reactor. If you look at the figure closely, you will see that the bioreactor has an agitator system. Continuously agitating occur. An oxygen delivery system, form control system, temperature control system, pH control system, and sampling pod. So through this sampling pod, we can isolate the little bit portion of the sample. We can examine it. If the sample is proper, then we continue. Otherwise, we have to modify the bioreactor contents so that small volume of the culture can be withdrawn periodically. The most important word, downstreaming processing. After completion of the biosynthetic stage, product has to be subjected through the series of processes before it is ready for marketing as a finished product. Before we put the product in the market, the product can undergo some process, particular process, step by step, which are collectively referred as a downstream processing. Product has to be formulated with suitable preservatives. If the product can be preserved for a prolonged time, we have to use particular preservatives. Suppose example, some enzymes, some amino acids are present in the market. To prevent contamination, we can store them in the preservative. Such formulations has to undergo through clinical trials, as in the case of drug. So if we are doing the process under the pharmaceutical method, if we are performing the experiments on the drug, so it undergoes clinical trials. अच्छा, कोई नवी ड्रग जो आइडेंटिफाई कराय છે તો એનું સેમ્પલ ડોક્ટરને અપાય છે અને એ ડોક્ટરને એના ઇન્ડિકેશન્સ કોન્ટ્રાઇન્ડિકેશન્સ આઈડેન્ટિફાય કરાવાય છે. So the medical practitioner can use that sample to treat the patient and take a review. બરાબર, એના ઉપરથી એ ડ્રગ માર્કેટમાં ચાલશે કે નહીં એ ડિસાઇડ કરાય છે. Strict quality control testing for each product is also required. The downstream processing and quality control testing vary from product to product. Okay, so this is known as downstream processing. So here this is the most important word, downstream processing. Before using the product in marketing purpose, okay, so it is isolated and processes are useful there. So hope you understand this chapter. This chapter is over here. Okay, thank you very much all.